What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. Let's go over some stimulus news for you guys here. We have multiple different things to go over here for you guys in this video. And thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps get our news out to multiple different people and people new to the channel here. We'll be going over multiple different articles that I'll show you here directly on the screen so you can read them for yourself and see it with your own eyes. If you're not aware, there is still multiple different states and various different programs, stimulus programs, inflation relief programs going on here still this year. And they're most likely, we can't predict the future, but there will most likely be next year as well. Remember, there has been about 35 states this year that have sent out inflation relief checks, state stimulus checks, whatever you want to call them. There has been multiple different federal programs this year as well, like the SNAP benefit bonus pandemic relief programs that are still going on in over half the states this year. The current stimulus type program of the federal student loan forgiveness, which is $10,000 to $20,000 for over 40 million Americans, right now held up in the legal system, probably going to go to the Supreme Court. We'll see what happens with that. I'll keep you up to date here on that. Also talks about medical debt forgiveness in the future. There is an actual bill in Congress. We went over that as well. There's also a private organization that has done over $6 billion in medical debt forgiveness as well. So other types of debt forgiveness on the horizon potentially as well. Medical debt forgiveness, maybe credit card debt forgiveness, mortgage debt forgiveness. Those are also very real possibilities as well. Also, we've already seen 3 stimulus checks from Congress. We've seen mortgage assistance of $9.9 billion. Some of that's still actually going on here. I have links for you guys down below in the description of this video. We've seen rent assistance of $40 billion. Utility assistance, we just had $13 billion of that just approved here in November and December, depending on your state. That's literally just getting approved here for the winter months through the HEAP and LIHEAP programs. Each state has a slightly different program. That is newly approved money here for the end of the year to help low-income people pay their utility bills and heating bills for the winter months. So we think about all these different programs that are still going on here now. Still going on here now. So I'll keep you up to date here. Let's go over some new stuff here. Literally stuff that's just come out here. Okay, first up, stimulus update. Delaware deadline to claim $300 direct tax rebate checks only 5 days away. Only 5 days away for these $300 checks. You can see here, there is now less than a week for Delaware residents to submit applications for the latest round of relief checks worth up to $300. Governor John Carney, a Democrat from Delaware, signed legislation in April that established the 2022 Delaware Relief Rebate Program, hoping to give $230 million to taxpayers at the time. Delaware residents only have until November 30th at midnight to file for the rebate, after which no additional applications will be accepted according to the state. So only a few days left at this point for Delaware. If you've already been sent a check, you can contact our office and we can work with you to verify your identification and get the check forwarded to you. Or you can pick it up in our offices. And if you've not been sent the check, you can apply if you meet the qualifications to apply for a rebate. The state has so far issued over 782,000 direct payments of $300 for each adult Delaware residents. However, state officials said that thousands more residents qualify for the rebates. Online applicants must provide valid Delaware residential mailing addresses, social security numbers, and active driver's license or identification cards that were issued by December 31st, 2021. Next up, for the state of Ohio, good old Ohio. Some Republicans in the state of Ohio, which Ohio has a pretty good Republican majority at this point, Republicans want to abolish Ohio's income tax completely. So we have several states that have no income tax and some states that want to get rid of it completely. You can see here, this is literally dated today. How could the state do that? So this is one of the states, Ohio, that is considering doing that. I mentioned another state here recently. I don't even remember what state it was. I go over so many different states here, trying to remember all 50 states. Yeah, it's just yeah. I guess I'm going senile or something. But yeah, trying to remember all the details of every single state and all this stuff is just yeah, it's I don't know, must be the COVID brain or something. But no, it's just I can't remember all these details anytime. But yeah, so apparently Ohio, they have been already reducing the state income taxes. So they're already doing this and they want to continue doing this even more so. So this is apparently one of the things that they're doing with their state surplus money. So remember, if you've been watching my channel, you know this. Every single state, every single state has what we call surplus money, which means more money than they spend. This is not a normal circumstance, okay? If we go back a few years ago, this was not a normal occurrence, okay? For example, the federal government, the federal government runs a deficit, okay? The states all have a surplus right now. So now the federal government over the last year actually brought in more revenue than they ever have before. Okay, the federal government, because of unemployment being at a historic low, and then thereby you can just extrapolate that to states' unemployment also being at a historic low, pretty much for most states, if not all states. Again, you'd have to look into the data of every single state, which we're not going to do. But every single state right now has a state surplus of, not every single state has at least $1 billion, but a lot of states have multiple billions. And we know California, the largest state in the country population-wise and economy-wise, has $97 billion of surplus. And they've been using it for a lot of different things, including California state stimulus checks. They had one last year. They have one this year. We'll go over that here in a minute as well. But each state's using their money slightly differently. So a lot of Republican-run states tend to want to use it for tax cuts, which is another way of giving money back to the people. They tend to think that it is a way to not run up inflation. And again, you guys can let me know your thoughts on this. Everybody has slightly different opinions on different things, and you may be right, you may be wrong. It really depends on your opinion. But we've seen, Republican-run states like Florida and Texas have no income tax. They have no state income tax and have not had them for many, many years. And we also see states like Florida and really Texas are great retirement states. You can go there, retire because of the weather too. Great weather. Well, some people might say it's too hot, but trust me, it's better than retiring in Ohio. You got 0-degree weather in the winter. Nobody wants to retire up in the north really that much. It's yeah, but there's no state income tax. No state income tax. So good place to retire because of a couple different reasons. But Republicans, and we have been seeing in a lot of different states, Republican run states, if they're not doing state stimulus checks, they have been lowering their taxes. Now, that's not for all the states because we have seen some Republican run states also give stimulus checks, inflation relief checks, gas rebate checks, whatever you want to call it. So we have seen some states do both or one or the other. So I will keep you posted on that. Also, a lot of these Republican states do tend to do other things like property tax rebates or renters rebates and other things like that too, as well. Okay, next up, California inflation relief payments. Here's when you can receive your check. Taxpayers in California have been receiving payouts for inflation relief this month. According to how it's being billed, the middle class tax refund may total up to $1,050, depending on your household size, residency, filing status, and income. Basically, it's $350 per person. Up to 3 people is $1,050 for the most part. For the most part, that's the quick and skinny of it. This payment is part of California Governor Gavin Newsom's $12 billion relief program, which he claims puts a priority on putting money back in the pockets of millions of Californians who are struggling with global inflation and rising prices. According to the Franchise Tax Board, as of October 20th, so this is like over a month ago. I mean, this is a new article literally as of yesterday. 3.5 million Californians had already received their payments via direct deposit, so obviously a lot more. The following details about California inflation relief checks: who is eligible, how much they can get, and how payments are being made. The refund option, which has been set up in 3 tiers based on your 2020 California state tax return, is available to almost 23 million residents of California who made less than $250,000 on their individual tax returns or $500 on their joint tax returns. On November 19th, payments began to be made to people having last names beginning with A through M. The payment period for those with last names beginning with N through V is from Sunday until December 3rd. Receivers of the non-Golden State stimulus funds who didn't get previous checks with last names M through Z will get their final payment on December 31st. I don't know how they're going to say it's going to be that exact date unless it's a direct deposit. So I'll keep you up to date on that. Yeah, California is like the fourth or fifth largest economy in the world, actually larger than the vast majority of countries as well. So they're sending out a lot of checks here, and they honestly may have enough money to send out one again next year. There's a lot of states that probably are going to have a lot to send out, or have enough money to send out potentially another check next year. It's not up to me, but we'll see here. So we had a lot of states send out checks this year. Like we had Maine with their $850 check this year, Alaska with their $3,200 checks this year. I can't even really think about them all off the top of my head, but if you've been watching my channel, you know about these. So yeah, and the other good thing is that these the I want to say state, but also kind of it's from the federal level as well, is that the pandemic has been extended, which allows the states that are opted into the extra SNAP benefits, which is over half the states, to continue extra SNAP food stamp benefits to continue. So that's good. That's going to continue to go on at least through the new year. So I'll keep you up to date here on that, because that's really extra benefit bonuses of $95 per month for tens of millions of families. So we'll have to keep you up to date on that, because obviously the virus is still going around. We just caught it when we did our trip to Disney. So update on that. You can see how I'm doing. Obviously I'm still, you can hear it in my voice a little bit, but I'm doing okay. Doing okay. My wife's still sick, so we're hanging in there. Um, Julian, my son, he's over at grandma and grandpa's, but he's pretty much good. He's been bouncing off the walls for a couple days already. So I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I actually got some more here that I'll cover here in the next few videos here. Remember that normally videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We were doing a few less videos because we're a little bit under the weather, but we'll see what happens here going forward. So make sure you're subscribed down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so, and I'll keep you up to date here. Click the subscribe button, then the bell icon, so you know when we go live, you'll get notifications on your device. You can click here to watch my newest video next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.